Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do the 1-year review of a 2017 Honda Pioneer Deluxe. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's the unit right here. Let's do a quick walk around to get an overview of it. We'll go over the likes and dislikes after 1 year of ownership and the improvements that I would suggest. So with the Honda, one of the big selling features to me was that it seated 5 people. When looking for my family, I had to have something that could do 55 miles an hour and seat at least 5 people, as I have a family of 5. That really limited me down to 3 machines: the Honda, the Can-Am Defender, and the Polaris Ranger. So let's start with the Can-Am. Can-Am was an awesome machine. It was very, very silky smooth, great horsepower, great torque. The only problem with it was the price. It was the most expensive machine out there, and I tried to make a deal. Let's talk about the Polaris Ranger. That was a fast machine. It was also the cheapest machine. The problem is it rattled, and that could just been assembly from the dealership. The two downfalls both the Can-Am and the Polaris had was the length. If you notice this unit with the wheelbase is very short. It's about 10 feet total in length. So when I was looking at the Can-Am and the Polaris, they were almost 12 and a half feet long. I like the fact that this one, you have your bed, which folds up to seats. It's not for everybody, but I like the convertible seats back here because if my kids aren't with me and I'm using it for the utility part of a sport utility, it holds 1,000 pounds. It can haul 2,000 pounds. I like that the bed isn't behind the rear seats. Now, if you're out, you're constantly working your machine, you've got 4 or 5, 6 people with you at any given time, and you're using the bed, this is not the machine for you. But if you're like me and you wanted to be able to haul 5 people, have a short wheelbase, and occasionally use the bed, take a look at the Pioneer. Another feature I really liked in the Pioneer over the other ones is there's no belt drive on this. It's a real transmission. And with that being, it's got a 6-speed automatic transmission. It's the dual clutch transmission with paddle shifters. I don't know if you can see, here's your downshift, here's your upshift. When you look over here, you have a manual mode and automatic. So your regular mode, not manual, where it's only shifting via the paddle shifters. Then you have sport mode, which essentially just holds the shift for quite a while. Another feature I really liked on the Honda was the 4-wheel drive system. You have turf mode, 2-wheel locked, 4-wheel with an open diff lock, and 4-wheel lock. I am a fan of putting it in whatever mode I think I need at the time, and I like that's cable actuated. I know Polaris has their all-wheel drive system. Even Honda has come out with the intelligent 4-wheel drive, which it has a turf mode, a 2-wheel drive, and then basically an all-wheel drive where it uses the brakes to lock the front end. Not for me right now. I like the tried and true cable system. If something ever happens, I can fix it on the trail, hopefully, unless I break a cable. I don't have to worry about anything electric breaking. On these, I love that it comes factory with the doors, front and rear. You don't have to add this on. A lot of the units nowadays just come with nets that are sport utility. Again, I'm only talking about those 3 machines. The downfall of these doors is they will rattle. And there's some fixes out there, some bushings. I've put some tape on it. It does help. But the rattling can drive you up a wall occasionally. I like the upright seating. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a much more upright. I've sat in the X3s. They're a smooth machine. They're fun. I feel like I'm sitting on the ground. I like the sport utilities, where it's the Can-Am or the Polaris. So you got the upright here. On this machine, I have added the cargo system here. It's an overpriced piece of plastic, but it does hold gloves. I got headphones in there. Got my straps, but it still leaves you, I don't know if you can see it down there, your 12 volt from the factory. So it goes around there. I did not buy the floor mats for this. Live in Arizona, it doesn't bother me. Just hose it out. Some people want them. Another thing I did add back here, so you can see I have my car seat. It's a boat cushion, and it's for my daughter. Just give her a little bit of boost and comfort. Now on the car seat, one thing that the seat belts don't do in this like a normal car is lock. So I can run the seat belt through, but then I also run a ratchet strap just to keep it nice and taut. My kids can still grab the grab handles, and then I also have the nets that I left on the back. I've had absolutely zero problems with this in the last year. I've put around 800 miles on it, and there was a couple months in there where I didn't drive it very much at all. Out where I live, they are street legal, so the tires on it are wearing pretty quick. They're about half worn. They look a little bit better to the eye. The camera doesn't do it justice, but they're getting pretty worn. One of the downfalls is they're not a DOT tire, and Honda puts a 4-ply tire on their UTVs, or at least the Deluxes. The Bighorn 2.0 is a nice tire. It's just, it needs to be a 6 or an 8-ply tire like the original Bighorns. Another downfall in this is it's a little tall. Other than the unit being a little bit tipsy, and the cheaper 4-ply tires, I think it's been an absolute awesome machine. Never felt like I was gonna tip over on it whatsoever. And this ride is just flat out smooth. Now I do have the stock shocks on there. No issues whatsoever. I think it's still a very smooth ride. When I do upgrade the shocks, I haven't decided if I'll go with the stock LE shocks, which are the Fox shocks, Walker Evans, or a new company out there, Viking Shocks, who's getting into the UTV markets. I don't know how well the camera does it justice. I do love the blue color on this Honda Pioneer. Another feature I love is I can go down to Honda and I can buy all the plastics for just a couple $100. All right, so other than being a little bit tall and tipsy, partially is my doing with the 2-inch lift, and the 4-ply tires, I think it's an overall great machine. Now it is my first side-by-side. It is not my first off-road vehicle. As you can see, I have the Duramax in the background. I've had a couple quads. I still have a couple quads, 3-wheeler and whatnot. Maybe we'll do a review on those later. But overall, I give this machine an 8 out of 10. I think Honda did a really good job. Put a little bigger tire, a little better tire on it. Give it a little wider track maybe. A little more horsepower. It comes rated at 72. I don't know why they can't do better. The Can-Am is 77, and the Polaris, I believe, is at 82. And they all have 1,000 engines for the sport utility. The only thing, if I could change one thing right now, would be reverse. I'd like it to have a lower reverse gear. Maybe it's just me. I just feel like when you're backing up a hill, you're trying to back a trailer up, it could use a little bit stouter gear. Other than that, it's a fantastic machine. You never have to worry about belts breaking. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You just get in it, turn the key, and drive. You're not going to keep up with your buddies in the Razors. Doesn't have the wheel travel for that, or the Can-Ams or some of the Arctic Cats and whatnot. If you're looking for something that you can have fun on and still work, this is the machine for you. The wheelbase isn't too long. I know a couple people personally that have the 5-seaters. They bought the bed liner and they took off the back roll cage. It just unbolts, and it's essentially a 3-seater. They bought the 3-seater roof, had to put a couple of notches in it. And then when someone comes along, like their grandkids once a year or whatnot, they'll put the roll cage back on. I believe it's only 10 or 12 bolts. But then they still get the benefits of the 3-seater. A little bit easier to use to work. One of them owns a vineyard up in Oregon. So, great machine. Other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor, click that subscribe button. And if you like the video, go ahead and give me a big old thumbs up. Come back next time. I'm going to show you how to make it just a little less tipsy and not cost too much money in the long run. Thank you. Have a great day. See you next time.